Hey guys, and welcome to this episode. This is David with Geeks and Jocks, and in this channel we talk everything about Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon TCG. And in this episode we're gonna be talking about the card Alrund Epiphany and how I think this card is gonna get banned for the standard format in Magic the Gathering. And this is what this episode is gonna be about. But before we go into the episode, I wanna remind you, if you like the content, comment, like, and share, as well as subscribe if you haven't done so already. That will be greatly appreciated. And let's jump into the video. So Worlds is going on from October 8th to the 10th. Today, as of the recording of this video, is October 9th. And round 6 of the World Mythic Championship number 27. It's between Andrea Strasky and a friend to the channel, believe it or not, Paulo da Rosa, who battled it out. Paulo was playing mono green and Andrea was playing Izzet Epiphany. The card Alrund Epiphany, it's a 5 colorless 2 blue. It's a sorcery that it creates 2 1/1 bird tokens and you take an extra turn. Afterwards it gets exiled. It also has Foretell for 4 colorless and 2 blue. And if you remember the mechanic, for Foretell you pay two mana, and it goes into Foretell, and then you can cast it later for its Foretell cost. This reminds me a lot. Well, obviously a lot of take turn cards. Obviously, this is one of them. It's a take turn card. But we had in standard not too long ago Nexus of Fate, which was an instant of 5 colorless to blue. You take a turn after this one. This card will be put into the graveyard. It goes back into your deck. Now, Alrund Epiphany tried to solve that a little bit by exiling the card after you play it. However, this card itself, if you ask me, it's not a big of a problem. It is, you play into turn 6 because you got a Foretell before, and then you play it for turn 6. The problem is the spot that this card is on right now. Standard is very limited right now, as it only includes right now Syndicate Rising, Kaldheim, Strixhaven School of Mages, Dungeons and Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realm, as well as Innistrad Midnight Hunt. That's only 5 sets. That is a very limited pool of cards to be having different kind of decks. Basically, red, mono red, it's non-existent. Mono white is not as strong as it used to be. Therefore, the fast contenders against this deck, it only has like mono green. There's no really mono blue like it used to be before. There was a mono blue deck, and more decks are more in that control realm of things. And this deck, Izzet Epiphany, it's a very good deck to be sitting back and just countering spells, bouncing them back. It goes very deep into the deck with cards such as Memory Deluge. Memory Deluge is a card for 2 colors and 2 blue. It's an instant. You look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest of the bottom of your library in any random order. It has flashback for 5 colorless and 2 blue. It goes really deep into the deck, so it is very, very consistent, and it's very possible that you even take 2 extra turns back to back with the card Galvanic Iteration. This card is a card, blue and a red. It's an instant. When you cancel next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. It does have flashback for colorless, a blue and a red. If you have a counter sitting in the back burner, for you to counter the Alrund Epiphany, because since you have to foretell it, and if you know the decks that they are around there, you kind of know which one it is, so you kind of wait behind, because this deck doesn't really have any other like threat. It's a reactive deck, so you kind of have a chance to counter one Alrund Epiphany. However, if you Galvanic before you Alrund Epiphany, you are taking effectively at least 1 turn. And since Galvanic Iteration actually does have flashback, then if you find another Alrund, you can take extra turns and the birds start to add up. If 2 Alrund Epiphany resolve because of the copy of the spell, You create 4 birds before you start taking your turns, so that is a faster clock as well. You know, it does have ways to clear out the board in cards such as Burn Down the House, which is a 3 colors and 2 red. It's a sorcery. You choose 1. Burn Down the House, deal 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Or you can create 3 1/1 devil creatures tokens with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. They gain haste until the end of the turn. And if you Galvanic Iteration that, while you're dealing 10 damage to everything on the board. So you have ways to really clear the board. So tokens from like Ren and 7 will not be able to stick, because let's say they got him up to 6 or 7, which actually was the case in round 6 against Andrea and Paulo Interview da Rosa. This deck all around is too consistent. I personally don't think they're gonna ban Alrund Epiphany. I think that the card that they should ban is Galvanic Iteration, because that's the one that lets you take back-to-back turns, as well as it does have flashback, so you can copy a spell if you're in a bind, clear the board, dealing 10 damage to everything, and then flashback and still take 2 turns, and then start digging into your deck and actually take more turns after that. So it's kind of hard to come back from that, especially in the standard with the pool of cards that is very small. So I do not believe that this cards in a bigger standard format could be a big issue if they print out cards that, have let's say Storm, that end the game or cancel everything and clear the stack or something of that sort. So if they have something that clears the stack, then that will be a straight answer for this, but then they have to print it in different colors, so those other colors have a chance against this deck. This deck is very, very powerful, and also bringing up more cards to the card pool will also give more cards to this deck, make it maybe even more consistent. So I don't know. I do feel that the real problem is the Galvanic Iteration. I don't feel that, since Alrund Epiphany exiles afterwards, it doesn't have that recursion of you being able to dig it out of the graveyard or do something else with it. I don't think that per se is a big issue. It creates the birds, but they're 1/1s, so it's not, they don't have anything else going for them. But the real problem is taking 2 turns back to back, being able to dig even further with other cards, and being able to take more turns. That's that also discourages the players from playing it, from playing standard right now. It creates a bad atmosphere for a really poor standard. Where in the Mythic World Championship right now, they are playing 25% of the players are playing this deck, and 25% out of 16 players means that 4 players altogether are playing this specific iteration of the deck. I'm going to try to link the deck list in the video. As well, I'm also gonna link our interview with Paulo Interview da Rosa that we had for the channel. I think it's very interesting, and I think that it will give you an insight to why he chose the deck that he chose for this Mythic World Championship. We are rooting for him. If he does win, that will be back-to-back World Championships. So best of luck. And that's it for today's video. I do think that this card, with Galvanic Iteration, is a big problem. And I do think that one of those 2 cards are going to get banned. Like I said, the more fair card will be Alrund's Epiphany not being banned and Galvanic Iteration being banned. But we'll see what happens. I think after this World Championship, something's going to come out. It is a big pool of the players playing this deck, and of pro players playing this deck, as well as you see it a lot of the ladder. And I do think that because of this interaction, I do think that this card, one of those 2 cards, needs to be banned. I feel it's Galvanic Iteration, but we'll see what happens. That's it for today's video. Reminding you, if you like content, comment, like, and share. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. That will be greatly appreciated as well. Want to thank our sponsors, Gaming and Decks. Both are linked in the description of this video. That's it for today, and we'll see you in the next one.